Welcome back over to the WPC playoffs. We're here with the match you've all been waiting for. It's the semi-finals and it's Alliance versus DK. We've got the Dota Kings taking on the TI3 champions. We're going to see if DK can, well, reclaim their WPC championship. They won Season 1. This isn't the finals, this is the semi-finals, but DK have got to win it to stay in it. A win here would put them in the grand finals against IG, a rematch of last year's WPC. But Alliance, they stand in their way. They're looking to take down China's strongest team at the moment in DK. We just saw Newbie get defeated by IG 2-0 in a bit of a surprise upset, but now we're going to get ourselves into our next match of today. Not alone for this series, I will be joined by my fellow Australian. It is Basekip. Basekip, are you with me just yet, or are you still...
Hey gods, I'm here.
How are you, man?
I'm doing very well. I'm excited for this match. Alliance versus DK should be pretty damn good.
It really should. This is the big match, the big showdown as far as WPC is concerned. We've got IG waiting in the grand finals. Alliance got here beating Vici Gaming in one of the, well, probably the most exciting quarterfinal matchup. That was a 2-1 win over Vici Gaming. They were playing really solid Dota. I think it was a big contrast to Cloud9, who were playing kind of some very all over the place drafts and had some great, well, one or two great games, but then just some kind of sloppy other performances. But here, DK, they haven't been convincing since winning Starlight, but I still feel they're still the best team in China.
Yeah, DK haven't been looking so amazing recently, and it's been a little bit difficult to judge their form as well, especially, I mean, nothing against Titan, of course, but DK made that match look pretty easy in the first round. They did have a pretty convincing showing in the ranking stage, so I guess that's always worth keeping in mind. But the other thing for DK here is I'm wondering who's going to be drafting for them. I haven't actually checked recently, so...
Last matches, I believe it was Lamb drafted in their quarterfinals match.
Okay.
And their last couple group stage matches was not Lamb. That was, I believe, Mushi drafting. But as of late, it's been Lamb, and it looks like no one's selected the drafting just yet. We'll see once we get into the draft.
Yeah, we'll see who grabs it. But to me, I think that's fairly important as far as predictions and how this is going to play out, because sometimes Mushi drafts, but I feel like his drafting is a little bit less convincing than some of the other people on DK. And, you know, we sometimes talk about it at length that having multiple people on your team who can draft is a strength for the team, but it often seems that, you know, sometimes Mushi's not 100% sure of the version, and it seems to be more often than not, if DK are running out of reserve time and they're making some snap last pick in the last few seconds, then it's often Mushi drafting. But we're in now, and Landham's in the captain seat, so I think things are looking pretty good for DK.
It's where they've had their most success. At Starladder, at MLG Columbus, I believe both those tournaments was Lamb drafting. They've done well when Mushi and Burning have been drafting, but I feel Lamb's been the one of those really solid drafters, and it kind of led them to a lot of their innovations, which has kind of changed the way teams are picking and banning in general. So we'll see what comes up here in game number 1. The team are standing around Lamb. We can see there Burning is standing up directly behind Lamb, talking already in the camera shot. So it's definitely not a one-man draft operation going on.
Yeah, and I mean, obviously, I talked ill a little bit of Mushi's drafting, but he's also, you know, a big reason of part of why Orange did so well at TI3, and I was a huge fan of that team. So it's not that he doesn't know what's going on in general. It's just that sometimes he's not feeling all that confident with a particular version. But I guess interesting things to talk about for this match. Alliance's teamfight coordination has been looking really, really good. Their matches against Vici Gaming were, I think, very convincing. Meanwhile, for DK, we've seen some hit or miss performances, and I would say they've fallen back into a lot of like 4 protect Burning or 4 make space for Burning. Lots of split pushing, lots of just hoping that Burning can farm up and carry the late game, and that's something that I think that Alliance are fairly comfortable in dealing with. And I feel like it's almost a little bit of a role reversal to what people might be expecting going into this match. Like DK are normally seen as the team that are applying pressure early game, and they're 5-manning and they're just out executing. And Alliance are, you know, typically more of the split pushing team, but I feel like it could be the opposite in this series.
All right, well, we'll see what's coming out here. This is, honestly, I think the first time I've actually seen Burning not just sitting down, because normally he's on the far right of their seating arrangement, just sitting down as the draft is going on, but he is perched over Lamb's shoulder. They are discussing, even as the first bans come out, like this is it. This is important for them. They're going to start by banning out the Bat Rider, as well as a Treant Protector. Alliance ban out the Lycan as well as Ancient Apparition. Quick reminder, we are casting from the Chinese stream, Cameron, so no spoilerinos. Okay. I'm telling you, but I should be telling myself more than anything right now.
Okay, I'll let you prompt me on what's being picked, and we can discuss.
So we've just seen the first
I don't have the Chinese stream up.
Yeah, first big Invoker for Alliance. So it's going to be an S4 Invoker right off the bat from the Swedish team.
Yeah, his Invoker's been looking really good recently, and I think in there's like 679 or 6.80, he had some absurd win rate on Invoker as well. He was like 13-0 at some point. And now that he's been playing a little bit more Quas-X and been looking pretty confident with that, I don't think it's any big surprise to see other Alliance are picking it up pretty early on. And we get the Ake Chen right away, so Alliance not messing around.
DK immediately responded with their opening picks, Enchantress and Doom. So they were pretty much expecting the first pick Invoker. So
did I spoil the Chen pick? I guess I did.
You're good. You're good on the Chen pick.
Okay.
No, no worries.
There you go. I gotta make sure. Well, I don't have the Chinese stream up, so I'm just like counting out a few seconds before I say anything about picks or bans.
Normally in the past, it was the Enchantress picked in response to the Chen as like a semi-counter. Like I mean, both heroes often leave each other alone in their own jungle. We don't see offensive jungle too much unless like it's because your own jungle's been warded out completely. And I expect both teams will leave their junglers in the safe jungle, but you never know. We could see some mix-up.
Yeah, if it comes down to both junglers occupying the same jungle, then the Enchantress has the edge in terms of forcing the Chen out. But like you said, I don't know if that's necessarily something that we're going to be seeing. And the big reason is just the, just stealing creeps back and forth. It tends to favor Enchantress a little bit overall. But looks like both teams going to be reasonably greedy here, but also that opportunity to shift things into a complete push draft as well. So I really like how both teams have actually opened up here.
Yep. The Doom pick, this hero's just been rising and rising in popularity as well as where it's been prioritized in the draft, and it is one of those heroes which I feel is definitely up there as one of those top tier 1 picks which we're going to be seeing a lot of over the next few months leading up and during TI4. Especially by the Chinese teams who love to run him. When you look at Newbie, Xiao, you look at Vici Gaming with ROTK. I think ROTK runs this hero better in the offlane than anyone at the moment. But DK Doom, it's also flexible. Like I say, offlane Doom, but you can put it mid, you can put it in the safe lane. You can kind of run it as a 4-position jungle Doom, although not something that has much. It's kind of mixed success. You can't plan on doing that from the get-go. But
and not going to happen this game because they have
not with the Enchantress.
Because they have the Enchantress.
I think most likely it's the offlane Doom, but I think even DK are basically saying, let's wait and see what they pick. Like, let's not commit to anything just yet with the Doom pick.
Yeah, and already looking at this is actually a really difficult game for Chen. I'm a bit surprised that Alliance were feeling bold enough to pick the Chen into the Enchantress and the Doom. Just two heroes that you typically say, okay, look, you're not going to be getting too much value out of your creeps. And whatnot as far as pushes are concerned, and that can be a little bit of a worry because the Enchantress does definitely scale into just being a relevant damage core in the later stages of the game. But Chen and a Senback's nice, global heal is nice, but you really want to be exploiting that early push as much as you possibly can.
Well, we'll see the next couple bans come out. Wisp and Prophet banned out by DK, while Alliance banned out Lifestealer and Puck. I like the DK bans. You target the Wisp, an obvious pick. It's one of those. It's one of those heroes which is still very, very strong. And Prophet, of course, we saw Bulldog what he did to Vici Gaming with that hero in their quarterfinals matchup. But Alliance banning out Lifestealer as well as Puck. I think the Lifestealer makes a lot of sense there. But Puck is not necessarily like a problem hero, but it is a good tempo control which Mushi has had some decent success on.
Yeah, definitely, and not too shabby to have against the Invoker either. But something else that's also nice to have is this Templar Assassin that DK have snagged for themselves. So it looks like Alliance had a plan in mind. They do grab the Dazzle, and they've got really good defensive supports now overall. And it looks like a little bit of this 5-manny draft may have been planned out. I mean, we didn't really talk about it, but that early Ancient Apparition ban, it is a hero that DK like playing a lot, but it is, of course, something that you don't want to be playing into if you're planning on running a a really heavy push strat with, Necrobook on Invoker and Fast Mech on Chen and just 5-manning down towers, which it looks like it could have been the game plan for Alliance just coming into this.
And when DK third picked that TA, suddenly they've got very little counter push. TA going to be most likely Mushi's hero for mid. You put your Doom in the off lane. You need a support and safe lane hero for burning that can actually deal with pushes, which is maybe where you're forced to not pick a hard carry that you want burning on. And even some of his heroes, which he's had great success on, like a Clinks, really bad at stopping pushes. It's not bad against the Chen because you can death pact his creeps, but you almost need something like a Gyrocopter for the AoE if Alliance pick up another pushing hero. So imagine DK want to fourth pick some kind of a support here and see what Alliance go, and then if they need some more AoE, they've got to get some more AoE.
Man, this Alliance draft is... No, it's very familiar, I have to say. This is like a lineup that I think at various points in competitive Dota has just been extremely viable, and I think a lot of that it just comes down to how long Luna has held this spot as a carry. But DK go for a Lion, which is interesting. They are so... Mid lane's going to be an absolute battlefield.
You did the half-second spoil there. Like, you said Luna, and then half a second later it got picked. You were perfect. Well, almost perfect.
There you go. I'm getting it.
Yeah. This is... When Alliance actually qualified to come to WPC, they had to beat Empire on time rating, and they won a game in, like, 90 minutes using...
The Wisp Luna.
Wisp Luna. Yeah. I think there was a Chen in there as well. They maybe even had Invoker. I don't know. I can't remember who S4 was playing, but it was definitely a Wisp Luna, and they just walked all over Empire in that game. So, we'll see what DK have in mind for their last pick.
Yeah, I think they could potentially run the Doom safe lane, but doing that is just asking for whatever offlane hero Alliance are running to have so much room to work with. If you have Doom and Lion as your just as your defensive duo lane with the threat of Enchantress ganks, if you have any sense of where the Enchantress is, as a Timbersaw or something like that, you can play up a lot and just pressure the Doom and the Lion and get a lot of levels. So as far as that's concerned, I feel like DK maybe have to consider something a little bit better for their safe lane, but they end up going for a Brewmaster. Okay.
Oh wow. Brewmaster is...
I've done it again, haven't I?
It's okay. We'll flash it. Oh, well, there you go. There's your Brewmaster. It's going to give them that ability to actually initiate into the push strat and like take one hero out of the fight with the Cyclone. If they, and this could, I think there may be a safe lane burning Brewmaster. I think they run the Brewmaster safe lane and the Doom in the off lane, not vice versa, just because of how crucial the Brewmaster blink is. Doom's going to get some items and farm regardless of whether he's off lane or safe lane. So.
Yeah. Unless if for some reason they feel that they want the Templar Assassin away from mid because she's going to get roamed on by Chen and Dazzle, then maybe they shuffle things around a little bit. But I think you're definitely going to be, Mushi picks up the Templar Assassin. I think it's definitely going to be...
As far as Alliance last picks, I don't think this is a good lone druid game for Bulldog. I think you're looking more towards like Darkseer, Centaur, some kind of initiator / teamfight hero, because they just don't like it. There we go. Centaur gets picked up last, so I'll tab back in and... I keep myself disciplined by tabbing out of Dota during the draft, so I don't even spoil myself. But, it's a very, I would say, standard draft that we've seen a lot of from Alliance in a lot of ways, but still a very strong draft. Like, I feel like DK have gone for like the more unique flavor of the month hero in the Brewmaster, as well as going back to the TA. But what Alliance have done is just tried and tested over and over again to work well.
Yeah, and the thing with when you have two teams that, at least as far as I'm concerned, are so evenly matched, honestly, and when you get to such a high skill level and the level is still very much even, games just start coming down to the smallest things, and playing a lineup that you are extremely comfortable with is actually a really big advantage as far as a match like this is concerned, because Alliance are just less likely to make execution mistakes. And if you've played this lineup in a lot of different scenarios, then you know how to respond to certain things happening, and a lot more of it is just immediate. There's no sitting around and discussing and what do we do now? Everybody's just on the same page. Yeah. So there is something to be said for this kind of draft for them.
And that's where, even though like picking the Chen after the Enchantress doesn't seem like the most intuitive thing to do, it's something which it's basically Aki's best hero. He plays this like none other. So
his Chen is absolutely amazing. He plays it very, very well.
So we'll introduce our two teams here in our semi-finals. It's a best of 3. Winner goes through the grand finals. We'll have a best of 7 up against IG. Loser gets knocked down to the 3rd place match. They'll be taking on Newbie in that 3rd place decider tomorrow. We've got on the Radiant side, the team from Sweden is your TI3 Champions Alliance. We've got EGM playing as support Dazzle. We've got Chen in the hands of Ake. We've got Loda playing the safe lane farming Luna. Invoker being played by S4 mid. And then finally in the offlane it's going to be Admiral Bulldoge playing the Centaur Warrunner.
And meanwhile for DK, we're going to have MMY handling the Lion. We've got Lanham on his Enchantress. Burning is going to be handling the Brewmaster, heading towards the safe lane. Mushi over it on mid on the Templar Assassin. And finally, Ice is going to be on the Doom.
Yep. And you mentioned small things like right off the bat, Ice gets the perfect block, range creep out in front. That'll die first. That'll help push the creep wave to his tower. And these are the kind of things which can make or break your lane. Like you talk about these two teams being so evenly matched up and being such an important match. These are the small things. Although with that said, Alliance get a nice block and their range creep is going to die as well. So it's actually not going to work out as well as Ice had planned.
Yeah, EGM did 100% the right thing, intercepting the range creep and making sure that it didn't just suicide straight into the melee creeps. It's a subtle thing, but again, one of those things that does matter a lot as far as lane equilibrium is concerned.
Ice unable to get off a Devour just yet. He's going to make his way into this Radiant jungle and try find the first big creep he can to Devour. No, he's actually getting zoned out. This is actually quite big from EGM, preventing him from getting any Devours off. There's a Centaur, there's a Dark Troll. Either of these is fine to Devour just because it gives him a lot of experience as well as gold to play around with. So far, so good for Alliance dealing with the offlane. Similar story up top, although Bulldog has already hit level 2, so he's actually managed to leech a decent amount of XP being on that Radiant offlane.
Yeah, EGM just wants to get Loda in a position where he can bully Ice by himself, and then he'll maybe consider running the pulls. And that would be maybe the one question that people would have, like, why is he not immediately running pulls when it's available? They have a Chen, he can do what he wants, but keeping the Doom down and getting the Luna in a position where she can just deal with him by herself is a really nice way to start off the lane here.
Yep. Well, Bulldog going to come check out the 2-minute rune up top, as well as maybe he's going to stomp here. He's actually going to cancel the Tornado to help out mid lane. Nice little thing there. He's got the mana. He hasn't used any mana. It's unlikely he's going to get an opportunity to do so. He'll scatter the 2-minute rune. Lamb is there, though. He picks it up on the Enchantress. So, small things for both teams. I mean, this is your offlaners. They check every rune early on because they can't really lane all too well. So 2 minutes in, we see both check the rune, and it does go the way of DK for the Enchantress. Not that it's a rune that he can make much use of.
Yeah, and how have creeps been for Lanham? So he has a Hellbear now. I wasn't keeping an eye on what he had up until this point.
He had one
but...
Wildkin. That's okay, the Wildkin min. That's all I know.
That's not that impressive.
Yeah. Well, the mid matchup, the TA versus Invoker. We've seen this a few times in the past. Generally, TA coming out on top, and so far, pretty even on the CS. TA, after that refraction nerf many patches ago, has just taken a big hit as far as the mid lane dominance is concerned, as well as just bottle crowing being ever so popular. Not that Invoker's going to be bottle crowing this game.
Yeah, I kind of would have liked to have seen S4 go for the Bassi build instead of the Null Talisman, just because at certain points in the lane you can leave it on and get the creep equilibrium pushing towards a Templar Assassin, which makes life a little bit easier, but at the same time it leaves you more vulnerable to Enchantress ganks, and a lot of it is just personal, it's just player preference as well as far as what builds you go for.
Nice, still being pesky here in the jungle. I think maybe he scouted the fact that Aki has a smoke, so he wants to continually scout and try and find out what's going on, but Ice gets pushed out. They're going to try and go for a Genki, but they get revealed on the high ground. Nicely played by Ice. He'll reveal the smoke Genki, could turn around for a Devour, and he's going to do it. He gets greedy, and there's nothing to punish this. That's a big pickup. Now we can go back to base, heal up, then head to the jungle, head back bottom lane. He's getting a lot out of this offlane all of a sudden. Similar story up top, I believe, still. Actually, no, Bulldog's been completely zoned out since hitting level 2. He's found absolutely nothing, but he's in a perfect position to scout at this smoke gang coming mid lane if he stays here. But DK are going to try... I think they realize where he is and want to go a different direction.
Yeah, like I said, mid lane is just an absolute battleground this game. Both teams making aggressive smoke movements. We've seen a Wild Wing already making its way over, but looks like DK might just actually be swinging all the way past and heading down towards the bottom lane. It's a less expected gank.
It's the safest, yeah.
Yeah, might be more likely to succeed as a result.
It's so many offlane players now do that thing on the Radiant lane where you just sit on this cliff and scout out smoke ganks, because you know the Enchantress wants to smoke gank mid. It's too commonly done, and they're going to try bait Ice to the bottom lane. He is getting jumped, but there's MMY coming in with a Hex. They go in on Loda. Is there a Grave available? Hasn't leveled it up. He was not expecting this one. There's a clap. There's a First Blood. Loda goes down. Great rotation from DK. catching Alliance by surprise. Smart decision-making coming out from the DK supports.
Yeah, that was a really nice rotation. And stopping the push as well at this point is really important.
And really well
actually
played
gonna be
by...
some nice levels for Ice Ice Ice.
Yeah, Ice 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 did that really well. He baited them in without making it too obvious that he had backup there, so... They get the kill. And you can't really blame EGM. Like, you don't really expect to need Grave this early on. You want the Poison Touch to zone out Doom early on, and then you want the Shadow Wave to just provide that little bit of support as well as extra damage output.
Yeah, and even had there been a Grave, I don't think it would have gotten Loda out to safety. So
Burning, free farming, much like Luna was until that death. Burning is going to be going for what looks to be a straight Blink Dagger rush, and he'll have level 6, so he can just immediately... He's got the TP scroll already. He can look to rotate as soon as he's got that Blink Dagger online to gank some of these other lanes.
Yeah, and that's definitely where they can have the Brewmaster start moving around and get a little bit of recovery farm for Ice 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 as well, which will be really nice for him.
Alright, well, we'll see Lamb and MMY make their way towards this top lane. They have got this lane ward, and that's where Bulldog... He did manage to get level 3.5, close to level 4 while the supports were missing, but now that they're once again in the jungle off the map, he can't really go too far away, and I'd love to see these supports pick up another smoke and go for some more pickoffs, but for now... yeah, actually, they've done just that. They did have another smoke. Didn't see that one. They're making their way towards mid lane / top. They don't want to go past that cliff here. They actually see Admiral Bulldog, I believe. They ping him out. They've got the Dire Observer Ward across the river, so they see him and... Are they going to go for this kill? It's a Wild Wing. It's not the best creep for this, but they're going to have an Impale. There's a Hex to follow, and Admiral Bulldog. He can't really do too much. He needs to cancel the Tornado. The Tornado's still slowing off, and MMY dodges that stun and manages to get the last couple of right clicks off. Well played by DK. They're just ganking so smart right now.
Yeah, this game is so symmetric in what both teams are trying to do, but DK are just being that little bit more successful. Bulldog keeps trying to reveal the ganks, but it's not working out. Ice Ice Ice, meanwhile, he's been successful. And as a result, that's opened up the DK supports to roam around a little bit, and that's pretty much 100% of how this game is turned out until this point.
I think it's largely the nature of the two heroes. Centaur, if he runs into those supports, he dies. If Ice 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 does, he devours the Chen creep and he's perfectly fine. Maybe he takes a bit of damage, but we saw earlier on when you ran into them, they can't kill him because they just lose that Chen creep immediately. So just by the nature of the draft, DK have an advantage.
Jump in mid. That's throwing some trouble.
Oh, he's manning up. EGM shows up with a Grave Zone. That's going to push Mushi back, but you force a rotation. Tornado, actually, that's a Radiant Tornado coming in, so S4 gets salved up. He'll stay mid lane for now. Mushi may be looking for a Cyblades attack, but not going to find it just yet. Burning has 3k gold. Please, Burning. Please. Just buy that blink. Solo kill Bulldog or something. This is not efficient play, Burning. Well, maybe
if he stays around a little bit longer, he can get Blink and Arcanes when he goes to the side.
Or is this going to be a 9-minute Aghanim Scepter with no Blink?
Right? No, there's no point. You have max Thunderclap and 1 point in Drunken Brawler. Why on earth?
Dude, being able to get double Thunderclap, ulti, Boulder Toss, second Thunderclap, that is an insane amount of damage, though.
You gotta walk up.
Yeah. Right. I know, I'm trolling.
Yeah,
I don't think he's going Axe Rush. But we're going back to old school Dota where you go Radiance Rush, maybe.
Oh, Lord.
I remember when every hero used to rush
that.
Radiance. If you go back to like 5-6 years ago in Dota 1, like you do Medusa solo mid, you rush Radiance. Every hero mid would just rush Radiance. Razor, rush Radiance.
Doom Radiance, Alk Radiance.
Yeah.
Who else? Necrolite Radiance.
It was just the weirdest meta. Well, I mean, back then it was considered normal. Like, Radiance was much stronger back in those days. It also gave evasion. But here we go in top lane. Mushi's diving Bulldog. He's already used the hoof stomp. Mushi's not going to commit to it with the TP in from the Dazzles Walls. A second TP. Mushi's trapped in no man's land. There's a tower on one side, a center on another, Invoker on one another with a cold snap as well. Mushi, he's going high ground. He's going feed. As he didn't really have any other options, so he goes down, he forces a lot of rotations, creates some space elsewhere, but creating space here is just a euphemism for kind of feeding.
Yeah, that was a little bit weird. I think he was just trying to judge. He got partway under the tower and he's like, oh, there's no TPs yet. Maybe they don't have TPs. I guess I'll push my luck a little bit further, and that's when Alliance responded. So didn't work out all that well for him, but like you said, a little bit of space created, got some damage down in the tier 1, so not the worst at the end of the day, though still obviously not ideal.
So far, both teams getting farm on all their core heroes, more or less. Not too much separating the teams, apart from DK maybe getting the the earlier first blood and the kills, and Doom just doing a little bit better in the off lane compared to the Centaur. Doom is level 6, Centaur level 5.5, and Doom's also got a good amount more farm, making his way towards that Midas, so he'll be scaling well and catching up pretty efficiently with that. And Burning...
It is worth pointing out that... Oh, sorry.
No, go ahead.
It is worth pointing out that Alliance's lineup were banking a little bit on getting that fast tier 1 tower on the safe lane. Like, Loda went for Bassi and Treads, which is not that unusual. It's really good at bullying the Doom, like we were talking about a little bit earlier, but at the same time, they really wanted that tier 1 tower goal just to speed up the mech on the Chen and speed up the Blink Dagger on the Centaur, and without that, they're actually having a really hard time as, you know, heading in towards the mid game, and now that tier 1 tower is not a guaranteed push.
Chen's quite far behind, all things considered. Like, it is one of your support heroes, but there's not really all that close to a mech. Ice is going to scout another smoking. This time, though, he'll pay for it with his life. Loda going to use the Eclipse. Well, eventually Ice gets punished for his insolence in the enemy jungle. But
Alliance have to be really careful about this teamfight, though. Doom's up in 10 seconds, and they've still got this Panda ultimate available.
Yeah, Burning can just go for an initiative. If he sees EGM, I think you just almost go on that Dazzle. He's going to get Poison Touch, gets his Blink disabled by a Shockwave, and here we come the Chen Enchantress battles. Enchantress steals it, Chen steals it right back. He's going to go in with a clap. Not going to actually hit Mushi with that one, but Doom's back. And it looks like DK won a 5-man. Doom does TP down towards the bottom lane, but they can actually just 4-man this mid-tier 1 tower with how low it is. Burning still not willing to go in with that Blink Clap ultimate. I guess he's maybe worried a bit about a Cold Snap, because if he gets Cold Snap, maybe he can be burst down and not get the ultimate off, which is probably worst case scenario, if S4 is quick.
Yeah, but S4, I'm sure he's hovering it at every moment that he can see the Brewmaster. That's probably a big reason why Alliance are being so stubborn about this tier 1 tower mid, because they know that there is a chance that they can take a fight without the Brewmaster ultimate getting off. But DK sneaking around from the side, coming in for the flank.
Yeah, full wraparound it looks like, as they're going to bring in Doom for this one as well. And the Doom is going to get scattered by the Centaur. Stampede forward, they've been initiation. That's your Brewmaster. Blink, they Finger of Death down the Dazzle. Doesn't get a single spell off. Centaur's trapped in the trees. He tries to get a Hoofstorm off. 2 Hero Impale from Mama, yeah. And here comes Ice with the Doom. S4 is going to get taken out of this fight. The Grave is only going to delay the inevitable here. He gets taken out. Doom with another kill to his name. The Chen Enchantress battle continues. It's going to end up in the Chen's hands for now, but the chase is on. Burning gets up another 2 Hero Clap, and Loda taking heavy damage. The Impale going to help seal his fate. EGM and Aki on the run. That was a buyback from EGM, and he does not fix that fight whatsoever. Brewmaster's low. He gets himself out of there. The Forward Spirit's chasing him down, but there's no Sunstrike. There's nothing to finish him off. Earns up, and DK get a convincing win in the mid lane.
Yeah, and Alliance at this point it doesn't seem like it looking at the score, but they're feeling really on the back foot. Bulldog's going to have to...
gold graph is ugly.
Yeah, Bulldog's going to have to get this Blink Dagger and start making some plays with it if Alliance are going to recover.
Well, that's just 2 to wave DK, but it's a 5k plus gold lead going the way of the Chinese squad. So Alliance, they've got their work cut out for them. Ice has his Midas flying out. What do you feel Alliance need to do? Like, is it just wait for the Blink Dagger and then start getting kills, or can they do more than that before then?
No, I think the Blink Dagger is their one big way of getting something done. As Mushi gets a pick off on poor Ake.
Yeah, with the help of the Observer, they scan him out there and they seal the deal there. And it looks like bottom lane, they want to apply some more pressure. MMY suddenly has a Blink Dagger, by the way. One more creep. Into the shop he goes, and that's a 30-minute blink on your support Lion.
And Alliance actually just going to keep on pressuring mid lane. They know that the Brewmaster ultimate is still down for the time being, so feeling a little bit confident. They've still got that level 1 Eclipse up and available, so...
Not much has changed since 2009 or whatever, when Dai was playing solo mid line. Now he's on support, but...
Still gets that blink.
Farming just as well as he did back when he was playing that solo mid role, it seems. At least this game around.
His line is absolutely iconic. I love watching him on it. I'm a huge MMY fanboy.
It's one of the cool things when some of these solo mid heroes become 4-position support heroes, is that these old school solo mid players turn supports get to play him again. Like, seeing MMY online is just a very nostalgic thing.
Yeah, but Alliance desperately need this Blink Dagger. It's actually really nice once they pick it up. It opens up the opportunity for some Sunstrike pickoffs. He can start moving around a little bit, even with the Dazzle, maybe finding some kills in some of the squishier DK supports. So, Alliance not really backing him up that much. I think EGM considered swinging over towards top lane to help him, but realizes that Bulldog's right underneath the tower, but that's not even safe enough. Gets Finger of Death.
The Blink Bros, they find him out, and that's going to delay that Blink Dagger even further. DK just playing
Radiant's top tower
so
is under
fast,
attack.
so efficient and just so methodical with their pickoffs right now. And they're up 7 kills to 2, but the lead is much more than that. They're shutting down key heroes. They stopped the Centaur Blink. They've managed to slow down Loda's BKB. He's only got 700 gold right now. He's really struggling to farm with that BKB, and so much has come down to the warding as well. Look at these 2 DK wards are so hard to detect and deward, and these are just going to create more opportunities for DKs to get more and more pickoffs.
Radiant's bottom
It's so hard for
tower is
Alliance
under
to buy
attack.
sentry wards at the just with how the early game went. Support income is largely tower and teamfight assist gold based, and Alliance have neither. So they're having some problems. And EGM bought back earlier, so that doesn't help
DK
either.
have full control of the Radiant jungle. There is a smoke from Alliance, and this almost leads to initiation, but unfortunately, initiation is just something Alliance don't have. They've got a Stampede, but there's no blink on your Centaur, and Centaur's not even there. So these 4 heroes,
Radiant's
they just flat
bottom
out can't
tower is
initiate
under
right
attack.
now unless DK come into them. Or DK just really just playing unawares. Lamb going to scout out, or MMY scouts it out. He gets snared up, steals the Centaur, gets stolen back though. The hoof stomp has not been used from it. There's your Stampede, do want to load it, but he gets the Eclipse off. But there's your Brewmaster Primal Split in the background. It's going to try to take out Aki. The send back onto Loda may save his life. As Aki instead going to be the casualty here, as he's going to be grave. That's going to delay the Neville, and unfortunately for Invoker, S4 thrown up in the air. He's got no escape. MMY is there with the Impale. 2 heroes dead, possibly more. EGM now, no grave for him, and 1 more Impetus will seal the deal there. 3 heroes taken out, the entire Chen creep army taken out, and DK with a massive lead, 16 minutes into game 1.
Alliance were only a few seconds away from having Bulldog there and ready to fight with his Blink Dagger, but DK managed to...
Yeah.
DK forced the fight, or Alliance choose to take the fight right as, a few seconds before Centaur turns up. So DK took a pretty convincing win there, and things are really just snowballing out of control. Alliance are kind of running out of outs at this point, because with all the tier 1 towers down, it becomes that much more difficult for even... Now that the Centaur Blink is up, the question is, with the position that they're in, can he even do anything with it? I think a couple of minutes ago there was a chance, but now DK are just so far ahead.
That's something he can do. Insta pick off. Ice gets punished for some greedy farming at mid lane. Bulldog gets, well, kind of a solo kill. Invoker gets the last hit with a Sunstrike. That's actually a really nice little play there. That's what they need to do, but I don't think there's going to be too many more pickoffs like that. That was just a bit greedy from Ice.
Yeah, did manage to finish up his mech, I believe, before he died.
He's got it.
Yeah, I think DK feeling pretty confident to start 5-manning. They've got the rank 2 Brewmaster Primal Split. They've got their mech. Do they have the BKB on the Templar Assassin? Yes. So DK have hit a really nice timing here.
I mean, Alliance was not meant to be that strong of an early game lineup. You go Exalt Invoker, and this hero doesn't really come online until like level 10 with double Forge Spirits. And even later on, like, he wants his first item before that. And it looks like, at this point of the game, I think he wants to go for a 4-staff. It's a bit late to be going for a Necrobook first, and you're playing from behind, so the 4-staff is almost essential, but they're meant to be kind of not having the best early game, but not this bad. Like, this is Chen still struggling to farm the mech at 18 minutes in, and Loda getting caught out. Still no Blink Dagger. MMY has a Blink in 10 seconds. Actually already used it. There's a send back. Finger of Death is being used, but that's not going to be enough damage. Loda will escape. Aki in the right place at the right time and saves his buddy Loda.
And EGM, meanwhile, caught up by burning, but just going to be able to grave TP away, so Alliance with the clutch escapes, but... And I guess they do get the Doom cooldown out of Ice, so a little bit of time bought for themselves there.
DK, I mean, it's time bought where maybe DK aren't convincingly pushing tier 2 towers, but DK is still out farming Alliance, even while Doom's on cooldown. You've got Mushi top, you had Burning mid, who's now going to the jungle, you have heroes doing Ancients, they're going to stack these and maybe not kill them themselves, wait for Ice to come help. And Ice, he's farming bots, so DK have like 4 to 5 heroes farming on the map, while Alliance have maybe 2 at best, maybe 3 with Chen in the jungle.
Yeah, Ice caught out bottom lane. Can they finish him off? He's pretty tanky.
Radiant structures are fortified.
With the mech, he just can't be burst down by the Centaur Invoker alone. Just not enough damage. They need the +1.
Yeah, and while they're going for that, Mushi gets the free tier 2 tower up on the safe lane. So Mushi's TA is looking very, very scary. And it was only only a minute and a half ago that he finished up that BKB. Now he's got a Yasha on top. So Alliance are going to struggle to deal with him.
Luckily for Alliance, these DK Observer Wards, which have been plaguing them this entire game, are going to expire. And this one's going to expire right on top of Aki, and he's going to be like, that's where that ward was. Him and EGM probably saw that expire. And Lamb survives the center initiation. The Impale's waiting, and Bulldog, please. Burning says, I'll take the freebie. He's got an Ag Scepter now. So even without the vision, they're still finding pickoffs. Meanwhile, mid lane, Mushi's going to be careful. Poison Touch is there. He can BKB out of this one. He throws a Meld Strike at EGM. Pops a BKB. He wants to go in here. There's a Grave TP. So Mushi, BKB charge forced, but also creates some space for his team to now push this bottom tier 2 tower.
Yeah, and okay, Mushi not going to group up, not going to get healed up, just going to continue applying pressure elsewhere, and DK feeling confident to actually just take this tier 2 without Mushi around.
So, you've got a 20-minute Ags Blink Treads on your Brewmaster, your Doom's got your Mech Midas, Lamb, he's got 800 gold, can start working at Ag Scepter, and Mushi, he's just farmed out of his mind. This is just as good of a game 1 as you could have hoped for if you're DK.
Yeah, and could have gone completely the opposite direction if Alliance's early game movement had been a little bit more successful and DK's hadn't, but they played it so smart. And Loda caught out.
It's going to be another kill. It looks like there's a finger in 1 second here. They're going to use this. You betcha. It just came off that very second. Invoker shows up, tries to drop down a Chaos Meteor combo, but MMY going to survive it for now. Does have to use an Impale on EGM. EGM off on the side. And it's 4 just being right-clicked down by Burning. He gets doomed, and he's done for. Line did end up dying to the Dazzle, but they pay the price there as, wow, that's a big dive from EGM. EGM gets the kill, then TP's out. So 3 points in the Poison Touch, enough to get a kill on the Line there. I don't think Line was expecting so much damage from that Poison Touch.
Yeah, EGM still finding opportunities despite the slightly desperate Alliance position. They're down 20k gold, 12k experience. This is looking really, really scary. And do they finally have the BKB on the Luna? Not just yet. Getting close, though. But I don't think that's going to be enough for them to win a team fight, unfortunately.
So much of this game goes back to that first smoke from the Enchantress where they killed Loda bottom lane. I think if...
And stopped the push.
And stopped the push. I think if that smoke game went mid, Centaur, and Centaur detects it, no one dies, I think then you're looking at a dead even game. Luna gets the tier 1 bottom tower, Luna gets a fast BKB. We could be
Blink
22 minutes in.
a little bit faster.
Yeah. We could be 22 minutes in and the gold graph could be dead even right now instead. But just because of that one smoke gank, DK are ahead by 20k gold. I mean, there was more than that, but I think a lot. That was like the turning point.
Yeah, I think that was the one really big, really big thing that DK got out of the early game. They have played and executed really nicely since, but also just the way that the drafts are composed. It's and like you were talking about earlier, it's very difficult for Alliance to recover from a disadvantageous position.
DK now just going to go from tower to tower. This is your last out of tower. After this, Burning will have his Vlads for the high ground push, which is a nice little item to have when you're about ready to go high ground. The Aegis on Mushi expiring in very soon, about 10-15 seconds, so yeah, less than 10 seconds. So they'll get this tier 2 tower, I believe, but beyond that, I think they need to wait for the next Aegis.
Yeah, and I think they're fine to do so, but at the same time, if they notice even a small misstep from Alliance at this point, then this could be a huge team fight.
Burning going big. He just charges way into the fight here. He gets no Boulder Toss off onto the Invoker. Invoker Ghost Walks it in. This is just going to create some space. I think DK are not happy with that initiation. They'll back off. Doesn't really cost them anything apart from a Brewmaster Primal Split cooldown, which they don't really care about. They were done pushing regardless because the Aegis had just expired. So Burning blinks out. Full retreat from DK, and no one's going to get caught out. At least not yet. Bulldog, a blink hoof stomp blindly, doesn't catch out MMY.
MMY had a split second to blink there.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, makes it out. He almost got caught. He went to start auto-attacking the creeps. Bulldog blinked out, but that hoof stomp animation turned out to be just long enough for MMY to sneak out.
I saw the aftermath, which was hoof stomp on cooldown and no one near Bulldog. I'm like, oh, Bulldog just whiffed it. Oh, it's another blink initiation from Burning. He gets cold tap this time. They know he doesn't have the primal split. Loda, gonna get doomed up, does get the BKB off and doing a lot of damage with that Eclipse, but not enough. Is there a send back? It looks like Aki gonna try and heal up his buddy here. Will keep him alive, but there's a 2-hero Impale. Mama, yeah, on point. Burning gets the 2-hero clap to finish him off, and now S4 on full retreat. He's got no backup left. He's gonna go down. Luna the only one surviving thanks to the Test of Faith, and Mushi gets himself a dominating streak off of that. And it's GG. Game 1, 24 minutes in. DK, 17 kills to 4. Demolish Alliance.
Yeah, really nice performance from DK. And I said coming in that, oh, look, DK have been playing this style recently where they, in games where things really, really matter, they haven't been playing like typical DK. They've been falling back on something a little bit more old school, but DK show, look, we're back on form. We've got things under control, and yeah, they absolutely walk away with game 1.
It wasn't like the crazy laning and drafting that we saw at Starlighter where they did like Wisp +1 offlane and all this weird stuff there. This is a much more standard draft, but the execution was just pristine. There was nothing Alliance could do to answer to it. And I think the only pick I think you have to question a little bit is that second pick, Chen. Like, the Chen got completely shut down by the offlane Doom, and also just never farmed anything at all. I think the Chen pick was the one thing where Alliance went wrong with their draft. In hindsight, it's easy to say that.
Yeah, really easy to say that in hindsight. I wonder a little bit maybe if Alliance just came in with the mindset of that they had a particular game plan or just a skeleton for the draft that they wanted for this first game, and really stuck to their guns a little bit as far as that's concerned, and turned out to be their downfall.
I don't
in this
think
game. They didn't have any opportunities to do anything really after the early game went so badly.
I don't think they realized just how good offlane Doom is against a jungle. Like, to me, the one thing they'll reflect on this game is we can't do a Chen plus a weak support against an offlane Doom, because offlane Doom just shuts down any roaming potential from the Chen. Like,
yeah, and the Doom doesn't, unlike the Centaur, doesn't need one particular item and doesn't need 2k gold worth of farm to actually start doing things, which is the big thing. There was no guarantee of the Centaur's farm in this game whatsoever. And Bulldog, played really cautiously, yes, but he was worried about the enchanters, and he was worried about keeping S4 safe on mid, just because Ake and EGM weren't really applying pressure mid so much. They were focusing instead on trying to get that push going on bottom lane. So yeah, it was really hard for the Centaur, honestly.
Alrighty, guys. Well, that does it for Game 1 of Alliance vs. DK. It is a best of 3. Winner advances to the grand final. Loser is going down to that third place deciding match against Newbie. I'm Gods. Joining me for this best of 3 is Base Skip. Stick around. Game 2 coming up after a short break.